Chosen one, do you feel that rush of anticipation swirling around you? It is not your imagination, it is the tangible resonance of a new season, a season where money no longer trickles in drops, but flows like a mighty river that never runs dry. This is not a fairy tale or an empty promise. It is your birthright. The struggles, the endless calculations to make ends meet, the nagging fear of not having enough. They are all relics of a past you are about to leave behind. Today marks the turning point, the moment you step into a reality where you will spend money like water from now on, not in recklessness, but with the peace and confidence of someone who knows there is an ever-replenishing supply. Close your eyes for a moment and imagine your life without the mental burden of, "Can I afford this?" or "Will I run out?" Picture the freedom of making decisions from a place of joy rather than fear. That feeling coursing through your veins is the signal that you have been chosen for an abundant life, a life in which financial resources pour in as quickly as you can channel them toward your divine purpose. If you sense the truth in these words, if your spirit leaps at the possibility, I invite you to do something small yet powerful. Type 777 in the comments below. This simple act is a bold statement of faith, a sign that you agree with this promise of overflow. You might be wondering how you arrived here, reading these lines at this exact moment. Some would call it chance, but I call it divine orchestration. The trials you have faced, the disappointments that nearly broke you, the long nights spent praying for a breakthrough, none of it was in vain. Each moment was preparing you for this shift. Sometimes, life seems to push us to the very brink, only to usher in the most miraculous changes when we least expect it. That is the pattern of the unseen hand at work, weaving every struggle into the tapestry of an extraordinary destiny. Chosen one, do you realize that you carry within you the capacity to receive limitless wealth? Yes, you. Not the neighbor you envy or the public figure you admire, you. The divine does not discriminate when it comes to blessings. It only asks that you align your heart and mind with the frequency of abundance. Picture a river of financial blessings, wide and mighty, forging a path straight toward you. Your part is to stand with open hands instead of clinging to fear and lack. The moment you drop the shield of doubt, that river will surge into your life with unstoppable force. Think of the widow in Scripture who was down to her last bit of oil. A prophet's word changed everything, instructing her to gather vessels so that her small supply could multiply. She ended up with more than enough, not because she understood the mechanics of how, but because she dared to believe. That is exactly the space you are stepping into now. You do not need to understand every detail. You simply need to trust that your meager resources can, by a divine touch, transform into a waterfall of provision. If a spark of hope ignites within you right now, let that hope take root. It is the seed of your imminent harvest. If you have not already done so, type 777 to seal this moment. Do it, because your heart resonates with the possibility of never having to scrimp or stress over finances again. Do it as a declaration that you are stepping into a realm of surplus where you will spend money like water, never fearing it will run out, always confident in the ceaseless flow backing you. In a world that preaches scarcity at every turn, your act of faith stands as a remarkable testament to the abundant kingdom you believe in. Chosen one, the reason you have not seen this level of overflow before may be tied to your internal programming. Perhaps you grew up hearing phrases like, "Money is hard to come by," or "We can't afford that." These seeds of lack took root in your subconscious, shaping how you view possibility. But seeds can be uprooted. The moment you challenge those old beliefs, you reclaim the authority to plant new seeds of limitless abundance. From now on, let your internal dialogue affirm, "I always have more than enough. Money flows to me effortlessly." I spend with wisdom and joy, secure in the knowledge that more is on the way. This shift is not just about practical finances, it is deeply spiritual. The creator of the universe, who formed galaxies and spins planets on his fingertips, is not limited when it comes to providing for you. If he can scatter the stars across the heavens, can he not ensure that your bank account overflows? The only barrier is your willingness to receive. So many of us pray for blessings, with one hand open while the other hand holds tightly to fear. Today, you are being invited to let go of that fear entirely. It has served its purpose, keeping you safe in times of uncertainty, but it is no longer needed for this next phase of your life. Even now, you may be sensing a wave of resistance from your mind. Is this really possible? Am I just fooling myself? Those voices are echoes of the past, remnants of a worldview that taught you to expect little and to doubt big dreams. But you would not have read this far if your spirit did not recognize a deeper truth. Do not let fear have the final say. Let faith speak louder, affirming that you are indeed called to live in a state of overflow. Let your spirit declare that your finances will no longer be a source of stress, but a tool for transformation in your life and the lives of those you touch. Chosen one, if your heart is pounding at these words, that is your signal to act. Type 777 yet again. Each time you do, picture yourself stepping further into this river of abundance, letting it wash away every limiting belief. The water of favor is not shallow. It is deep, powerful, and more than able to cover every financial need you will ever have. What once felt like a heavy burden now becomes a light yoke, one that lifts you higher rather than weighing you down. Imagine the ripple effects on your daily life. Bills arrive, and you pay them effortlessly without that familiar knot in your stomach. Opportunities to bless others appear, and you respond with a generous heart rather than reluctance. You move from a posture of, "Can I afford it?" to, "Where can I best sow this resource?" That is not arrogance, it is stewardship. When wealth flows through a heart aligned with love and generosity, it can change entire communities, even nations. There is no telling how far your influence will spread once you embrace this flow. But let's be clear, stepping into abundant finances does not mean throwing caution to the wind or ignoring wisdom. Divine overflow and discipline are companions, not opposites. Yes, you will spend money like water, but that water is channeled through the banks of purpose and prudence. You invest wisely, save diligently, and still find yourself with more than enough to enjoy life to the fullest. The difference is that you no longer approach these tasks from a place of scarcity. Instead, you do so from a position of empowerment, knowing your source is inexhaustible. Chosen one, perhaps you are recalling moments when you felt guided by an unseen hand. Times when the right person showed up at the right moment, or you stumbled upon an idea that yielded a surprisingly positive outcome. Those were previews of what a life of overflow looks like. Divine appointments that hint at the grand design awaiting you. The reason those hints felt so electrifying is that your spirit recognized its true home, a realm where blessings flow freely. If you have not already typed 777, do so now as an act of faith. Let it echo in the spiritual realm, a clarion call that you are open, ready, and willing to receive the overflow. Make no mistake, this is a sacred transaction between you and the author of all abundance. Whenever fear tries to suggest you are being naive, remember that every miraculous story in history began with someone daring to believe in the impossible. Chosen one, from this day forward, money will be a fluid resource in your life. You will find yourself in situations where finances appear unexpectedly, where doors open that you thought were locked, and where solutions manifest out of thin air. Some might call it luck, but you will know the truth. You have aligned with a higher principle that says, there is always more where that came from. This alignment is not passive. It requires your active participation, your choices, your declarations, and your faith in the face of every setback. Yet the payoff is immeasurable, total freedom from the chains of financial limitation. You may feel an urge to give, to sow a seed, to bless someone else, even before your own breakthrough fully manifests. If so, follow that prompting. Generosity breaks the cycle of lack. It says to the universe, I am not worried about losing what I have because I trust in a never-ending supply. Time and again, those who give from a pure heart find themselves reaping far more than they ever imagined. That is the beauty of overflow. Once you are tapped into it, you cannot help but share it, and the more you share, the more it multiplies. Chosen one, picture your future self. See the joy on your face as you effortlessly handle every bill, every ambition, and every dream. Feel the relaxed posture of someone who knows money is never a problem. That future self is waving at you, beckoning you to join them on the other side of fear. You bridge that gap by choosing now to stand in faith. Even if your current circumstance looks bleak, do not let it overshadow the brilliance of this promise. Sometimes the darkest nights precede the brightest mornings. If you sense a tingle of excitement, that is your spirit waking up to its inheritance. Let this momentum carry you forward. Refuse to dwell on past failures or missed opportunities. Those are old chapters that served their purpose, teaching you lessons you will carry into this new era of limitless possibility. God is rewriting your financial narrative, turning what once was scarcity into an endless outpouring of blessing. Your role is to say yes, and to keep saying yes until abundance becomes your new normal. Comment 777 once more if it feels right. Each time you do, it is like striking the ground with an arrow, a prophetic action that signals your intention to see victory to its fullest extent. You are not content with half measures or partial blessings. You want the full overflow, the cup that runs over. The life so saturated with provision that you can scarcely contain your gratitude. That is the life you were designed for, and that is the life you are stepping into now. Chosen one, can you feel the pace quickening in your spirit? The excitement is palpable, as though the doors of a grand mansion are being flung wide open, inviting you to step in. This mansion represents the endless resources of heaven. Each room is stocked with exactly what you need. Ideas, connections, finances, waiting for you to claim them. Yet many people walk by, never daring to step inside because they believe the door is locked. Today, you realize the door is unlocked, even ajar, and all you need to do is walk forward. Yes, from now on, money will flow so readily that you will spend it like water, always confident more is coming. This is not about reckless indulgence. It is about an unshakable awareness that you are provided for. You will invest in your future, support causes dear to your heart, and explore the beauty of life without the grim shadow of scarcity. Your head will no longer pound with the stress of making ends meet. Instead, you will approach each day with a lightness that only those who dwell in abundance can truly understand. Even as you read these lines, something in the atmosphere around you is shifting. Circumstances are rearranging. People who once overlooked you will start to notice your rising confidence. Opportunities that once seemed distant will draw near. It is as if a magnet of favor has been activated, pulling the right resources into your orbit. Some may call it coincidence, but you will know it is the fruit of stepping into divine overflow. Chosen one, if you ever doubt this revelation, revisit the stories of those who walked this path before you. Look at the abundant miracles throughout history, times when impossibility bowed to faith, when 5 loaves and 2 fish fed thousands, when a shortfall became a surplus overnight. The same force that moved in those stories is at work now, longing to display its generosity in your life. Your role is simply to receive, to open every window of your soul and let the light of possibility flood in. If you have typed 777 already, do it again. If your heart stirs once more, let each declaration be like a drumbeat that shakes the very foundation of unbelief, proclaiming, I am chosen for abundance, my days of financial struggle are behind me, and I embrace the flow of limitless provision. Do not underestimate the power of your words. They carry creative force, shaping your reality in ways you might not fully grasp until you witness the results firsthand. Chosen one, imagine telling your friends and family one day, I used to worry about money, but something changed. Now it pours in so freely that I spend it like water and never run dry. Some will marvel, some will question, but all will see the glow of unwavering faith in your eyes. You will become a living testimony to what happens when a person catches a vision for overflow and runs with it. Through your example, others will discover that they too can break free from the chains of lack. Yes, there may still be moments of testing. Just because you have stepped into overflow does not mean you are immune to life's storms. The difference is that you will handle those storms from a position of strength. Where once a financial setback would have sent you spiraling, now you will stand tall, declaring that even a setback cannot dry up the fountain of divine provision. You will bounce back faster, with more wisdom and an even greater capacity to receive. Chosen one, let your spirit rest in this truth. You have been called to a life of abundant generosity, where the cycle of giving and receiving flows seamlessly. As soon as you let that sink in, watch how your environment responds. The very people who doubted you may become admirers or even partners in your journey. Doors you never knocked on may open wide. Resources you thought were off-limits may suddenly become available. This is the manifestation of divine favor, a tangible evidence of your new identity as someone who spends money like water without fear. If you have come this far, you are not someone who gives up easily. Your resilience has been tested, your faith tried, yet here you stand, on the brink of something extraordinary. Do not shrink back now. Lean in fully. Let these words sink deep, altering the trajectory of your mind and heart. When fear whispers, "This is too good to be true," reply boldly, "It is too good not to be true, for I serve a God of extravagant goodness." Comment 777 again if your soul agrees, if you can sense that unstoppable wave of financial freedom rushing toward you. Each time you commit, the old layers of doubt peel away, revealing a fresh, childlike faith that believes in miracles. That is the posture through which mountains move and seas part and bank accounts overflow. That is the posture that transforms ordinary humans into chosen vessels of supernatural blessing. Chosen one, from now on, money will be the least of your concerns. You will not just hope for it, you will expect it, and in expecting it, you will see it manifest like never before. Keep your eyes open, for signs of breakthrough can appear at any moment. An unexpected raise, a business idea that takes off, a debt cancelled, or an investment that multiplies. Each sign is a stepping stone on your journey to perpetual overflow. Remember, this season of abundance is about far more than you. Yes, you will enjoy the freedom, the laughter, and the adventure that come with having your needs met, but ultimately, it is about the light you will bring into a dark world. When you model generosity and faith, others catch the spark. They begin to ask questions, to awaken to their own potential for abundance. That is how your blessing becomes a movement, impacting countless lives. Chosen one, let this declaration sink into the marrow of your bones. You are on the brink of a financial transformation so profound that your life will never be the same. The aches of barely scraping by, of scrutinizing every expense, of second-guessing every purchase, those are the echoes of a past reality that no longer holds power over you. Instead, you move forward in faith, knowing that the supply is endless. that every resource you need is already set in motion. Yes, you will spend money like water, and that water will continually refresh itself, sourced from a divine well that cannot run dry. Your journey toward this abundant existence has not been straightforward. You have stumbled, taken detours, and encountered voices that questioned why you even tried. Yet through it all, something within you refused to quit. That resilience was no coincidence. It was the seed of destiny, planted deep in your soul, guarded by the trials you have endured. Each disappointment only fueled the ember of hope that one day things would be different. One day the weight of lack would be lifted and you would breathe freely in a new dimension of provision. Chosen one, I am here to tell you that the day you have longed for is upon you. Even if your outward circumstances have yet to catch up, a shift has occurred in the unseen realms, preparing the path for your overflow. Should any doubt linger, remember that you have already taken an enormous step by opening your heart to these words. Doubt will whisper that you are setting yourself up for disappointment, but faith roars back that you are setting yourself up for a miracle. Listen to the roar of faith. Let it drown out every lesser voice. Perhaps you are asking how to sustain this flow, how to ensure that this promise of spending money like water does not fade into the realm of wishful thinking. The key lies in unwavering alignment. Stay planted in gratitude. Keep your thoughts trained on abundance rather than lack. Speak life over your finances. Guard your mind against the infiltration of negative beliefs. The discipline required may challenge you, but the reward is a peace and freedom that surpass all understanding. If at any point you sense your resolve wavering, return to this message and the previous steps. Comment 777 again if you feel the nudge. Each time you do, you fortify your internal posture of expectancy. You are effectively saying, I will not relent until my reality matches the promise placed in my heart. That level of tenacity invites breakthroughs that defy logic. It captures the attention of heaven, for it is faith in its purest form, bold, unapologetic, and fully convinced. Chosen one, can you envision how light your mornings will feel when the worry of insufficient funds is no longer part of your routine? You wake up, stretch your limbs, and greet the day with excitement rather than dread. You consider your plans not in terms of what is affordable, but in terms of what aligns with your purpose. You see a need in the community and decide to meet it without hesitation, confident that the more you pour out, the more will be poured back into you. That is the power of living in divine overflow. This is not a hollow dream. Around the world, people have stepped into similar truths, leaving behind stories of financial struggle to become testimonies of supernatural provision. They come from all walks of life, some with formal education, some without, some with supportive families, others who stood alone. The common thread is a decision to believe beyond the confines of what their surroundings told them. They chose to break free from the mold, to partner with a divine supply that knows no shortage. And now it is your turn to join that lineage of abundance. Chosen one, realize that stepping into this realm will alter not only your own finances, but the finances of those around you. As they witness your transformation, curiosity will ignite in their hearts. They may ask, "What changed for you?" or "How did you manage to live so freely?" When that happens, share the hope that has filled you. Remind them that the same invitation is open to all who dare to believe. In this way, your prosperity becomes a catalyst for revival in the lives of others, sparking a domino effect of generosity and hope. If you feel a swell of gratitude right now, do not hold it in. Offer thanks for what you have, for what is on the way, and for the countless blessings that will soon manifest in your everyday life. Gratitude is the gateway to sustaining your overflow. It acknowledges that while you participate through faith and action, the ultimate source of all that you have is the ever-abundant Creator. As you remain thankful, you stay humble, and humility keeps your heart receptive to receiving more. Chosen one. From this point forward, be intentional about your perspective. Instead of viewing money as something scarce that you must guard jealously, see it as a river that enriches every life it touches. Your only job is to ensure that river never stagnates. By giving, sowing, investing, and wisely managing what flows into your hands, trust that as you keep that river moving, it will only grow wider and stronger, carrying you to new horizons of possibility. Envision the impact you will have when you no longer weigh every bill or expense with apprehension. Think of how many dreams you can fund, your own and those of others, once you live beyond the boundaries of frugality-induced fear. This is not about reckless spending. It is about liberating yourself from the mindset of limitation. When you rest in the assurance that more is always on its way, your creativity blossoms, your relationships flourish, and your vision for life expands in ways you never deemed possible. If you find yourself smiling at the thought of it all, that is a sign of inner agreement. Go ahead and type 777 again, letting that smile translate into a bold proclamation of your destiny. Each time you do so, it is like pouring fuel on the fire of expectation in your soul. The more you expect, the more you will experience. When your expectation is rooted in divine truth, it becomes a magnet for every resource required to fulfill your calling. Chosen one, remember that no journey is entirely free of challenges. Trials may still knock on your door, but they will not define or confine you as they once did. A person living in overflow handles problems differently. Instead of crumpling under financial strain, you will tackle each challenge with creativity and calm. Knowing that a solution is always at hand, you will not just overcome obstacles, you will turn them into stepping stones for even greater blessings. Think of the biblical example of Elijah fed by ravens during a time of drought. Logic would say birds cannot be a reliable source of provision, but faith recognizes that God can use any means. In your life, the ravens might be unexpected income streams, surprising partnerships, or out-of-the-blue job offers. Stay alert, for these channels may appear where you least anticipate them. The key is to remain open, unattached to preconceived methods, and trusting that the supply will indeed come. Chosen one, if you have typed 777 multiple times, do not worry about repetition. Each time is a fresh echo into the spiritual atmosphere, reinforcing your stance against doubt. The more you declare it, the less room fear has to breathe. And fear will try to breathe, especially in quiet moments when your mind wanders. That is when you lock in on the promise that you are transitioning to a life where money flows freely without interruption. Let fear starve from the lack of your attention, while faith flourishes under your constant focus. You might ask, how soon will I see the evidence of this shift? The timeline varies for each person as destiny unfolds in a unique sequence for everyone. Some witness near-instant results, a sudden check in the mail or an immediate business breakthrough. Others find the flow building progressively, each day bringing a little more favor until they look back and realize they are living in overflow. Do not compare your journey to another's. Comparison can dim your joy and distract you from the distinct path set before you. Should impatience arise, reframe it as enthusiasm for what is unfolding. Impatience can be an ally if you channel it toward positive action rather than frustration. Let it motivate you to take the next bold step, whether that is launching a venture, applying for a position, or setting a new financial strategy in motion. In tandem with faith, your action will accelerate the arrival of the financial freedom you crave. Chosen one. Keep in mind that the greater the calling, the greater the refinement. A golden vessel endures fire before it shines. If you encounter resistance, see it as confirmation that you are on the verge of something monumental. Opposition often flares right when your breakthrough is closest, attempting to derail you at the final stretch. Stand firm, anchored in the assurance that the same power that brought you this far will carry you across the finish line. As you step more fully into this mentality of overflow, do not be surprised if opportunities to give present themselves. Embrace those opportunities. Giving not only benefits the receiver, but also keeps your heart aligned with the principle that there is always more where that came from. Generosity is one of the purest forms of faith in action. When you let go of something you hold dear, be it money, time, or resources, you declare that your well cannot run dry. And each time the universe responds by proving you right? Go ahead. Type 777 yet again if your soul resonates with that. Let it be a repeated note in the grand symphony of your life, one that drowns out every discordant chord of negativity. Each keystroke is a reminder that you are not who you were yesterday. You are evolving into someone who has shaken off the shackles of lack and is ready to embark on the greatest season of your life. Chosen one, maintain your spiritual practices with even more fervor as you transition into this new financial dimension. Pray with gratitude, meditate on scriptures of provision, or simply spend quiet moments envisioning your abundant reality. Let your mind be a sanctuary of positive expectancy. The mind, once renewed, becomes a potent tool in manifesting outward success. Conversely, an undisciplined mind can drag you back into the mire of scarcity. Choose discipline over chaos, faith over doubt. Look at your reflection, whether in a mirror or through the lens of your self-perception, and see the glow of possibility illuminating your eyes. That glow is the reflection of your awakened spirit, a spirit that now knows spending money like water is more than a catchy phrase. It is a divine heritage. You are stepping into the flow that was always meant for you, long obstructed by fear, negativity, and wrong beliefs. You may find that your circle of friends changes as you adopt this mindset. Some individuals will not understand your newfound confidence or may feel threatened by it. Wish them well, but do not dim your light to ease their discomfort. Surround yourself with those who celebrate your progress and challenge you to keep climbing. The company you keep can either propel or stifle your growth. Choose wisely, because your destiny is too important to jeopardize for the sake of fitting in. Chosen one, keep planting seeds of positivity everywhere you go. Every word you speak, every supportive gesture, every financial act of kindness, these are all seeds in the field of your future. Do not underestimate the power of these small daily choices. In the right season, they sprout into a harvest so abundant that you will marvel at how far you have come. Sometimes, the greatest transformations are hidden in the simplest acts of faithful obedience. If your heart is pounding, do not resist the urge to comment 777 once more. Each comment is like a flag you plant in the soil of faith, claiming this territory for your inheritance. You may not see the full topography of your future, but you claim it step by step, refusing to relinquish an inch to the old ways of doubt. With every declaration, the boundaries of lack retreat and the domain of abundance expand. Chosen one, contemplate your legacy for a moment. This financial overflow is not just for you, but for the generations that follow. Imagine the stories your children or younger relatives will share. I remember when our family used to scrape by, but then everything changed. We started living in a realm of constant supply. That shift will shape not only their worldview, but also the communities they influence. A single decision to embrace abundance can ripple through entire family lines, breaking cycles of poverty and ushering in a legacy of generosity. The world is hungry for examples of what true abundance looks like. Abundance that does not hoard but gives freely, that does not boast but humbly empowers. By stepping into your calling, you become a lighthouse for others lost in the storms of scarcity. Watch as people gravitate toward your light, drawn by the peace and confidence you exude. This is not arrogance or superiority. It is simply the natural magnetism of a soul at rest in divine provision. Chosen one, let your next steps be bold. Dare to dream bigger than you ever have. If a business idea has been stirring in your heart, nurture it. If a book has been lingering in your thoughts, write it. If a charitable endeavor calls your name, pursue it. Do not let the question of money limit you, for you now know that limitation is a lie. Your reservoir is vast, and each act of courage dips into it, drawing out the resources needed to make those dreams a reality. Yes, you will spend money like water, but the water will never deplete, only replenish. Hold on to that image, a continuously flowing stream so abundant that you can hardly contain the joy of its current. Let that image guide you in every financial choice you make from here on out. Fear not the future. It has already been secured. Fear not the unexpected bill. It will be paid before you even blink. Fear not the ambition in your heart. It will find its stage. And if doubt tries to creep back into your mind, silence it with the memory of this very moment. You are not the same person you were before reading these lines. You have awakened to a higher truth, one that transforms your relationship with money and sets you on a path where you lack nothing. From this day forward, you walk in faith, confidence, and unwavering expectancy of good things. Chosen one. If you feel a final surge of affirmation, type 777 once again. Let this be the banner that closes this chapter of revelation, the exclamation point on the statement that you are now a vessel of unending financial flow. The next phase of your journey will be marked by testimonies of open doors and miraculous provision, testifying to anyone watching that when faith meets divine intent, the result is unstoppable.